Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Last Stand Gamers, and welcome back to the Planetary training exercise, a series that is designed to give a little bit of a feeling of what it might be like to live and build on planets in the future of space engineers. If you missed the last few episodes, in the last episode we completed two phases. Phase 6, build the production centre and become kind of self-sufficient from the fleet above so we don't have to request as many supply drops, and phase 7 we built ourselves a little vehicle that's something a little bit smaller that can explore the planet's surface without the unnecessary attachments that the much larger exploration vehicle had. So now that we're actually in the storage bay, one of the things that I've addressed this time is many of your questions. There was many of your questions of what you wanted to build next, and specifically what should be built behind this secret room door. Well, I had many different sorts of conclusions. Some of you wanted a secret sort of safe room where you could go down, lock away and hide away from anyone that's attacking the base above. Some of you wanted a secret sort of vehicle lift that could lift the vehicle up and down from the surface. I've compromised with both, but I'm going to have to get building. So now that we're actually in the bunker, I want to show you how I've laid the armour. Now, since this room needs to be really safe and secure, what I've done is doubled up the outer wall with two blast sort of door blocks, and then I've got an inner wall, more for decoration, of just a simple sort of tiled block here. So it's going to be quite heavily armoured door, but at the same time it'll give us a lot of protection from people trying to break in from the outside. Everything you're going to need in a safe room. So I've been building for a little bit of time. I've been constructing the safe room and the upper corridor areas. So if we head through here, you can see we've got this fancy little airlock with this lovely orange glow to it. We can head through here. Another way of just sealing it off from the station, delaying attackers, so you have more doors between you and them. So it'll give you a little bit of a chance to get into the safe room and lock the doors behind you. So now we're heading to this area. We have the main reactors for the station. I told you I wanted to put these in here because it's some sort of backup power source, and they're a really important point to actually have them out of sight from the casual people that might be actually visiting the base in that sector over there. Now we're going to head into the next area, but I'm going to have to get building first. So I'm actually going to take you into the safe room now. I've been spending quite a lot of time constructing this, working on different sort of formulas for the wall construction, and we've got a nice little elevator that's going to lower us down to the actual door area. So we've moved through into this tiled area. It reminds me a little bit of Black Mesa, this sort of place, a Half-Life sort of theme to it. Maybe it's just inspired me as I've been building. Now, as we head into this room, we're confronted with another massive blast door, and we've got that double sort of thickness of armor on each side with the blast door walls sandwiched in between. And as we enter in here, we've got a good sort of feeling of a fallout shelter. This place really feels like a fallout shelter to me. So we've got this sort of light and this sort of humorous sort of glow that's around the place. We've got the backup reactor here. We also have the food storage area, and we've got some growing facilities as well, so we can grow food and survive down here for a long time. We've got the command center through there. You can see the holographic table. We've got the barracks in that area, and we have a room that I would find really important of living down underground for an extreme a long amount of time. Just think how panic it would be knowing that there's people up above and you need a really nice place to relax. So you've got some nice chairs, you've got some tools so you can do some gardening, and we can actually head out into this area. Now this area is not actually a weak spot. Mining through that wall, you'd actually find another massive sheet of armor. So this is just a restricted area, and you can actually sit in here and just pretend that there's nothing happening, have a relax. You can also access the water sprinkler here that obviously doesn't sprinkle water, but it actually access the shield on these doors here, so you can just cut out yourself and pretend you're not even in an underground shelter and your whole base has been destroyed above. You just relax and pretend you're in a nice little forest somewhere. Anyway, let's head back inside, close this door up behind us. We're going to have a look in the barracks next. So in the barracks, this is where all the crew would rush to if you come under heavy attack or overwhelming numbers above. You've got some bunks for all the crew members to actually sleep and lie in, and towards the end of the corridor you've got a shower and toilet facility as you would expect for any sort of underground shelter. So if we come out of here, we're going to take a left. We've got a little bit of a catwalk going above, so you can actually see who's entering and exiting the shelter. Very important for someone in a shelter when they're counting the numbers in through that door, can sit up there and observe and make sure no one's coming that shouldn't be. Now we're heading into the command module of the bunker. The idea of this is to keep connection with the fleet above so we can call in reinforcements. Now down here, you'll notice that there's a holographic table that seems to have shifted a little bit off the center. It was centered before, and we've got some holographic diagrams showing our forces on the ground here in orange and their forces on red. I'm probably going to try to mock up some sort of sensor on the surface of this planet so I can see where enemy movement or if there's any movement on my holographic table down here. It's really simple, just using a projector to get this effect, and the rest of the command room even has a hole there that I need to finish up. I need to get building back in here. So that is pretty much the command room. I've also got some more air vents leading to the surface. Now that phase 8 is completed, I really need to complete phase 9 and get a vehicle sort of storage area within the bunker like you guys requested. So I'm going to begin building that. So as I was constructing the lift for the underground hangar, it seems we've ran into our first bug. And what a bug it is. Look at this thing, it's spinning all over the place. The idea was to try to load this vehicle on here, but it seems somehow we've made like a spinning sort of machine of death. It's like a giant sort of fly squatter or something. You can see there's like a little area underneath. It seems to be spinning on the actual piston head and the piston area there. Let's try to retract this and just see what we get, what goes on here. That's even if I can get any controls on this thing. So we'll go to this door here and we'll grab access to the actual door itself. So we need to go to the lift shutters, not lift shutters, where is it? Rotors. And we'll find pistons first, and then we'll retract this piston and just see exactly what's going to happen. So it's spinning around. You can see how it's damaging all this area, so this is going to have to be ripped out and fixed. I think it's ever since I turned the rotor up top is that generated the problem. So as that spins down, yeah, it's going completely out of control. Maybe if I control the rotor instead. Let's do a quick test on that. Let's try getting the rotor into perspective. It seems to be slowing down, rotor. And all we have to do with here is turn the velocity. Let's turn that back to the other side. So this thing should be spinning around. Let's see if it can spin around in this confined space. I don't think it will be able to. Oh yeah, there we go. It's managed to spin itself. So it seems to be stabling itself out, but it's caused a lot of damage to the upper area, so that's quite a big problem. I'm going to have to do some work on this, repairing this up, and I'm going to have to try to get to the bottom of what this problem is. And we've still got issues where it's getting stuck towards the bottom as well. So quite a few things to look at when we're fixing this vehicle lift. So now you can see I've actually solved the problem with the funky sort of ramp in the middle. I've added up to the next layer, and I'm going to actually build an outer hangar around it. Originally it was all going to be sealed underground, but since that part of the base over there is going to be above ground as well, I thought I'd use a much larger above ground hangar for extra storage for supplies, as well as access maybe another landing pad on top of it for spare ships. So we'll get this under construction and we'll just see how it goes. You can also see we put a few windows in the side so we can look up into the hangar and bring a bit of light down into the lower area. Anyway, I'll continue building. So we're actually back in the reactor room now, and you can see that this piston that you saw before, I've actually connected this up, and this is actually a very complicated machine that lifts up the surface. Well, it's not that complicated, it's actually just a simple sort of elevator. So we'll head up to this floor, and you can see the rear of the LEV in this area. So we're going to raise the door up and we'll gain access to that area. And you can see it's actually on a little bit of a lift platform, and we've got some shutters there that I'll show you what they do momentarily. So we're actually in a massive sort of hangar. Now this took me absolutely ages to build, figuring out the shape and size of this hangar as well, and it gives it a little bit of protection if it comes under attack from the surface, as well as multiple layers of defense down there below. So let's actually raise this up to the surface. I'm going to get the controls up and reverse the piston to start. This actually brings the lift into formation. You can see the LEV is actually lifting up as well. Let's open the door so we can get right in there as soon as we get to the surface. You can see the door of the hangar's there as well. Now the important part of this is we need to remember to use the lift shutters, and that'll seal the gap. So a little bit of a problem I ran into was the gap between the areas here like this. So I'll show you how I solve them right now. I simply press this button and it extends out the lift shutters here, creating an area that I can actually reverse off. Perfect. And now we need to open the main hangar door. That I believe is one of the end ones. That's not it. There we go. That's the door I want. And that's going to open the area, revealing light into the hangar, so I can actually drive the LEV out. We'll try driving it out. I'll actually seal up this door here, bring the hangar up, and now it should just be gentle sort of reverse out this hangar. But this is just another way of storing it. Take the handbrake off and reverse out of the hangar here. So nice and gentle. And there's the LEV on the surface. I don't like how the door comes up through the roof, but I can't have it descending down into the ground, or else it causes further problems through the other area. So there's the LEV out, and we can simply drive that actually back in and reverse the same sort of process. We've still got an area to work on over there, but we'll actually just hop out of this thing, put the handbrake on for the minute, and I'll actually have a fly around the hangar, lower this door, So when I was building this hangar, I was trying to work out a way of making it not stick out from the ground too much. But as you can see, it's just really stuck out. It's really sort of bold item on the horizon of this base. Not too good. We've also got a little bit of a catwalk in this area that'll hopefully connect it up to the rest of the station when this above surface area actually begins to be completed. That'll probably be in the next few phases. Anyway, let's head back into the station. So let's bring this episode to a conclusion. We've managed to complete both phases 8 and 9. Two of the phases that were actually recommended by you. We managed to get ourselves a lovely safe room down in the basement of the facility to keep our crew and myself safe. And we've also got this interesting vehicle lift here. So I can actually access that, lock them gears into place, get out of this vehicle if we can. Have I got my jetpack on? I think I may do. So we need to drop that down to the floor, head inside here, and then we can actually turn off the shutters. So retract them shutters in, them shutters are retracting. We can also claw the outer hull door. There we go, close in the outer hull door. And then we can move down to actually reverse in this piston. Ah, beautiful. And then we can seal up the hangar above us. So we can actually do this quite fast if I remember how to do it. Oh, sugar, they're the wrong ones. They're the wrong ones. Whew. That was close. Okay, they're the shutters I want to close. No, just got to remember. Maybe I should better label everything. I might get this job done a little bit faster. And we're coming back down to that floor. We've got them shutters sealing up above just to stop things dropping down on the vehicle itself. We can obviously shut this off and we can head back safely into our facility. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I had quite a bit of fun building this, and I'll see you next time.